Hey, hello, Live Love Nation, and welcome to our weekly Rev-Up. We're in the midst of a sermon series entitled Decisions, Decisions. And the premise of our sermon series is if we ask good questions, we can make better decisions and experience fewer regrets in life. This week's question is the maturity question. What is the wise thing for me to do? Because so often our decisions are impulsive, aren't they? Our decisions lack the art of the long view. In other words, we don't think about how our decisions of today will impact us in the future. So the maturity question, what is the wise thing for me to do? St. Paul was writing to the church in Ephesus. We call it the book of Ephesians. It was 62 AD. And it's kind of interesting because the ancients, they have the same struggle that you and I experience today. And so Paul writes some very practical advice. He says this, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise. And that Greek word blepo means to see. In other words, discern with the mind's eye. What is the proper, what is the good, the wise thing to do? In other words, connect the dots. What is the wise thing for me to be doing? Okay, so be very careful then how you live, how you conduct your life, every aspect of your life, not as unwise, and the Greek word there is asophos, or simple, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity. See, that's unique because that Greek phrase there, it means redeeming your time, ransoming your time. If you could go back and respend or reallocate your time, how would you do it differently? See, in that there's a challenge. Paul is saying to us from this moment on, utilize your most valuable asset, your time, to accomplish something good. To use it for a purpose. Okay, making the most of every opportunity. Make the most of your time because the days are evil. Once again, the Greek word for evil means viciously, actively evil. And you know that. And so Paul tells us to be wise in every aspect of our life. And so I want you to take a look at this from several different perspectives. The first one is this. In light of my past experiences, in light of my present circumstances, and in light of my future hopes and dreams, what is the wise thing for me to do? Winston Churchill once said, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And so we need to learn from our past. What is the wise thing for me to do? In light of my past, what is the wise thing for me to do? Because you know what? My past predisposes me. The great theologian, Dr. Phil, said, the best predictor of the future is the past. And you and I, we have specific temptations and addictions and blind spots that predisposes us to making unwise decisions, that predisposes us from sliding down a slippery slope. And so in light of your past experiences, what do you need to be doing right now with your time, with your energy and your effort to build up your relationships? What do you need to be doing right now to build up your financial situation, your social, your professional, your academic situations? Okay, so in light of my past experiences, in light of my present circumstances, what is the wise thing for me to do? I mean, you know, in this life, seasons come at us, right? Different seasons, different emotions, different struggles, different opportunities. And we react so often in the moment to the moment. And your emotions play a powerful impact. How are you reacting? Okay, in light of my present circumstances. Not to act simply emotionally, but what is the wise thing for me to do? What dots do I need to connect? And in light of my future hopes and dreams, what is the wise thing for me to do? It breaks my heart when I see people, families, and kids engineer their own failure, where they kind of trip themselves up by making poor decisions. See, the maturity question, it brings clarity to the very best options. When you're making a decision, just pause for a moment and think to yourself, what is the wise thing for me to do? And don't forget, as the prophet Jeremiah so boldly proclaims, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. And look at this promise from the psalmist. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will act. And so what is the wise thing for me to do? Commit your time to prayer. Look to God, to his guidance, because he is the beginning of all wisdom. And when you face a decision, I know you may not act on it, but just pause for a moment and ask yourself, what is the wise thing for me to do? Thank you for joining us. You have a great day. God bless and live love.